So this is how I turn my car into a camper car. Basically I've taken everything out and I'm going to put it all back in and show you how I do it. So first of all, I've just taken out the bottom seats. So taking out the under seat, it just clips out of the ISOFIX, and it all comes out in one big line. So I've taken them out and then laid them down, and luckily with them out it lays completely flat, which my other car didn't do, so that works really well because it means I don't have to put a base on here at all. They're the footwells, just left them in there because it keeps my box stable that I put on there in a bit. So yeah, it's all empty now. I push that seat completely forward. So the front seat goes all the way forward, and then so I don't block a blind spot, I take off the headrest and keep it underneath the seat. Because if I keep the headrest up when it's completely pushed forward, then it blocks my blind spot. Found out that the hard way. So yeah, that is it completely empty. I'm going to put it all back in. So this is what I use for my bed base to sit on, and they're basically just little plant pots that I got from Homebase, and they sit perfect level with this. So when I put my wood base on top, it just sits flush with the middle bit, and saves me having a whole complete plank, which is what I used to have. Just saves on weight. And I thought if I got these as well, they're sturdy metal containers, I can fill them up with stuff, and it's like extra storage. So yeah, I'll put the plank on. So that is the plank on. It's just a piece of wood that sits on top, and I can push it all the way forward if I need to get it out. It can sit right up there, all the way pushed forward, or it goes completely down like that and just sits on top of the pots, which is completely stable, luckily. This is a new little tactic, or I don't know, it's a new way for me to do it. The other ways I did it completely different, with proper like wooden legs stuck on and it all in a complete fixture. But I thought this way, if I want to put the seats up, I can still, and I can still have everything in the car that turns it into a camper, and also have the seats. So this works really well. So I have found a good height, sturdy, strong duty storage box that fits in there perfectly. So that's my headrest area. So that just sits on top of these. I need to get something better than that, but so far I've just made it a little bit higher because it's not completely the right fit. So that sits on top of there, and these just little sticky things to make sure the board doesn't slide off, put them on top. So that sits on there, and then you can see like there's a little, like I couldn't get exactly the right size, so that's like an inch less. So that then sits on top there, like that. And yeah, that's me putting all my weight on it, and it doesn't move. It's really good. And with this, you put a little bit of weight on there, that takes it down a bit, so you have to kind of take that into consideration. So yeah, that is the complete back setup. It's really sturdy. I'm really happy with it because it means I can keep everything in the car and the seats if I need to turn it into a camper, where I couldn't before. So yeah, happy about that. Obviously then to use the front seats, take it all out, chuck it in the back, pull that seat back. So yeah. So this is my foam, cut out to size so that it gives me a bit of extra storage. I could fit the whole thing in initially, and I did have it for a couple of years with the whole thing in before cutting it, but I don't need all of that extra sponge, and then I can just put like more clothes storage and stuff in the cut out bits. So yeah, that is the sponge. It was off Amazon years and years and years ago, and I used it on a proper bed, but it works really well in here. It kind of levels out any sort of bits that aren't quite level. And yeah, it's a really old, it's a thick old sponge. It's quite unnecessary, if I'm honest. You don't need that amount of sponge in there. Half would probably be all right, but it feels like an actual bed. It's comfier sometimes than hostel beds or any other beds that I stay in. It's lovely. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in. So that is the sponge in. So yeah, that is the foam. You can roll it up, stick it in the boot, and with it completely flat I can lay out. My toes get to about there, but I tend to lay sideways anyway, it's just comfier. Yeah, that's the foam in. You can cut it with a bread knife, cut it to shape, that's where my clothes will go. It fits all the way up round there. It fits really well. Sheet on. Sheet.